So if you are one of these people who looks at somebody else and thinks to yourself, I would absolutely love to have what they have, but I don't have it. And you start looking at your own life and going, where did I go wrong? Where did I essentially mess up so bad that I didn't get what they have? And here's the thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you this right now. Comparing yourselves to other people is probably one of the worst things that you could possibly do within your career. And I say this because I've had someone try to compare themselves to me. And it's not a nice feeling when you get hate. And it's not a nice feeling when someone tries to put you down because they can't do something that you can do. There's times where I feel like I was comparing myself to other people in a way that I wasn't as good as them. I wasn't doing things the way that I wanted to do them. I used to watch YouTubers sometimes and I think like, my gosh, like I put so much effort into my YouTube videos and I don't get any views. And, this guy, he just walks along and he's got like 12 subscribers and he's got like thousands of views. And he's only posted 5 videos and I've got like thousands out there, you know what I mean? Like, what is going on? And I start comparing myself and I start like going, well, he's done this and I've done the other. But here's the thing, right? Everybody learns at their own pace. And I tell you something, at the end, there is a lot of burnout. So essentially what I'm trying to get at is that people who succeed now generally tend to burn out quite a lot at the end. So I don't really know whether I should be telling this story. I guess I can tell the story as long as there's no names, faces and places. But essentially this one year, I was creating things. It was the first start of Blender. So I used to start creating things on Blender. This was way before my main channel had any Blender tutorials and before I even started online teaching. So I was just messing around with Blender, which is this 3D software. Started making things, started posting things to online platforms and stuff like that. I was very heavily into photography and film at the time. And I remember going to Berlin. Now, it was supposed to be a 3-week holiday, traveling around Berlin, Rome, like going to Italy, Rome, going round to, I think we were due for Switzerland, France, and Spain. We were going to do a variety of places, because we were young, we were going travelling and stuff like that. So it was a good thing. The only problem was we only ended up in Germany, Berlin, and we ended up in Edinburgh. Primarily because my boss just wouldn't allow me to have 3 weeks off. She took her time booking my holidays in. I mean, like literally. I booked the holidays, I think, a year before I was due to leave. And she took her time so much that she only accepted the holidays literally 1 day before we were due to fly out. So it was kind of a little bit of a problem. So anyway, I go to Berlin, I do my photography, I start posting things online. And as you do when you go on holiday, you're just sharing your experiences with people. I ended up going back into work, and there was this one guy that I worked with who, when I went into the stockroom, he followed me in and he basically said to me, no one cares about my work, no one cares about what I do. And he told me that no one wants to see any of my photos on social media, XYZ, just like generally just putting me down. And I just sat there and I went, is this guy okay? Is this guy genuinely okay, right? So then it gets a little bit worse. People find out that I do CGI with Blender and stuff like that. And I just kind of sat there and went, right, okay, that's fine. I'm cool with that. People can comment on that all they want. And then they started to compare me to him. Now, he started doing CGI as well. And they were basically saying like, oh, have you seen his stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I already know. Like, we've known each other for quite some time. People would then kind of get a little bit ratty with me because I was doing what he was doing. And basically one person told me that apparently I was copying off him. Now, it just happened to be that we started at CGI at the exact same time, the exact same moment. I had a YouTube channel, he had a YouTube channel. Just happened to be that was the way that it was. Fast forward years later, from what this guy told me in the past, he had his own business. He had everything basically planned out. He was getting customers and stuff like that. I actually researched his business around a couple of months ago, actually, just to see how it was doing and whether he kept the business over that last 10 years, and I couldn't find anything connected to him. No past companies, no current companies, absolutely nothing. So I don't know whether he actually had a company in his own name or whether it was under somebody else's name, but that just seemed really suspicious to me. What I saw as well, there wasn't that many projects going on. As far as I could see, there weren't that many projects going on. It was maybe just like one or two, where at this point I was on season 2 of Blender and I'd gone through hundreds of projects within 1 year. I think season 1 of Blender did 200 projects roughly, on average. My current season 2 has just done 175 videos, or 176 as I do recall, and I've just started season 3 on even more projects. And I think that if I'd have compared myself to his work when I was a kid, and probably told myself, oh, he does better than me, I probably wouldn't have done the things that I do now. And the fact is that I don't want to be that person to say it, but there's something very strange about the way that this guy who used to work with me actually operates his media. I don't want to be that hater on him, and I don't want to be that person to say it, but from when I was younger, he was like, oh, no one cares about your work, no one cares about this, that, and the other. You know, the fact that this guy only has, I don't even think he has 100 subscribers. He gets, there's not a lot of views per video, and my YouTube's got over 12,000 subscribers, and also my TikTok has over 12,000 subscribers, and many of my other channels also have over at least 100 followers. Compared to how he's done in the last 10 years, compared to how myself has done in the last 10 years, there's a huge difference. And I think that dealing with haters and people who compare themselves to others, I don't think you're going to really win that much if you're just going to sit there and go, oh, this person's better than me. I think that what you need to do is you need to take a page out of my book, and you just need to post. Forget about the noise, forget about the haters, forget about the people on the outside. Post. Just post. That's all you need to do. Because, as I said, if I had taken his advice on board and basically had listened to what he said, of no one cares about my stuff and I will never be successful, in the end, I was like... You know, the results speak for themselves. Now, I'm not going to say it, but, you know, it's pretty obvious what happened after 10 years, you know. I mean, I want to build my own little business. I've never registered anything. I was at the cusp of nearly registering something to make something of myself, but I'm currently still building that up. But for his business not to exist, and then for his video views and subscribers to be considerably lower than my own, kind of says something along the lines of, I'm definitely glad that I did not listen to that guy, because if my stuff isn't good and he thought that his stuff was better, then, like, yeah. I don't want to be horrible and I don't want to be mean, but that was one guy that I certainly didn't want to deal with. And the fact that I actually offered this guy a project as well, I actually came over to him and I said at one point, would you like to work together on a project? You're good at CGI, I'm good at CGI, we could, you know, build something, cartoons, whatever like that. And he said, no, I will never work with you because you don't work to my standard. 10 years later, the results show themselves, and I am very glad I didn't listen to that guy. Who's that guy again? Yeah, so if you are struggling with comparing yourself to others and basically having low self-confidence, just remember that a lot of people are talking out their backsides. And of course I won't mention names, faces, or places on this channel because I can just tell the story to you of what's happened. But yeah, results speak for themselves, as I've said multiple times. I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.